I went around Denver Parkway. I didn't go out with Ozzy, but I went out to the Parkway and came through the Sierra. And then it was easy. I just got home about. Have you been down there today?
No, it's
Yeah. Coming out on Saturday. It's only 15 miles or 16 miles. And this was Monday. It wasn't as bad, but I still went around. There was one. I've always been on the East Coast. But there's an abundance. I'd like to.
Ever since the phone line, I guess we have a contract with them, probably.
Yes, that's 440. Yes. And that's for, well,
Mayor, it's 5:30.
okay. Okay. Welcome, everyone. I'll call the Board of Mayor and Aldermen for the Town of Unicoi meeting to order. It is Monday, August 15th. Thank you, everyone, for being here. There's our Reverend Blazer back there. Reverend Blazer, if you will do the invocation for us, you can come up to the podium if you don't mind. And then Roger, will you lead us in the pledge? And we'll get underway. Thank you for being here with us.
ready now.
Anytime, yeah.
Dear kind and gracious Father, we thank you so much for your kindness and mercies to us today. Lord, we come to you today and ask you in this meeting, dear God, that you control those things that bring comes to light today and what comes before this meeting today. We'll just give you praise, Heavenly Father, for all you did. In Jesus' name, amen.
Salute.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. Okay, Ms. Kessler, call roll, please.
Alderman Lemon. Here. Alderman Radford. Here. Alderman Ray. Here. Vice Mayor Cooper.
Here.
Mayor Boyd.
Here. Thank you. All right, if anyone would like to speak and have that opportunity, if there is a card over here in front of our police officer, chief of police, Nick, if you put your name on it, that way we can call a name and then it helps our city recorder when she's reporting off the minutes as well. So if anyone in the audience would like to have that opportunity to speak, we'll just ask you to put your name on the topic and turn that back in. In the meantime, board members, y'all have minutes from our last meeting in your packet. I've had the opportunity to review them. We will need to approve those minutes. If there is a motion to approve. Second. Okay, we have a motion and second to approve the minutes. Ms. Kessler, call for vote, please.
Alderman Lemon.
Yes.
Alderman Radford. Yes. Alderman Ray.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cooper.
Yes.
Mayor Boyd.
Yes. Okay. We will at this time give citizens opportunity to speak. I see that Dennis, you have filled one out, and I'm aware as well that Alice and Austin representing economic development have filled one out as well. Dennis, would you like to go first?
Sure, thank you. I just told you to.
That's fine. You have to-
I can hang on to.
Oh, are there more?
State verdicts.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm so sorry.
actually, Allison filled hers out first, and
I
also
defer to her
yours.
then.
Well, okay, either way. I'm sorry.
Unless you all wanna go at a different time.
For your preference.
We can go.
Okay.
Yeah, you want us, wait, it's up to you, sir.
Ladies, first.
Let's go.
Okay, they're gonna go for it. Okay, all right. Everybody gets a turn. It's just whose turn it is. Okay. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, so my name is Allison Woodward. I'm the Business Development Director with Urban Utilities and also on behalf of the Joint Economic Development Board in Wood County.
Austin Finch, new economic development director in town, also work for Urban Utilities, also joined economic development board. So I think we're going to do two things. Just want to give a quick bit of updates and then just raise a point to the board here about some thoughts we might have. So you go ahead and start with the updates.
Yeah, so first, something that we want to start doing is now we're established as part of the economic development for the whole county is to, because we've been at this now and that was signed over maybe just 2 months ago. So we've been hard at it, but just a brief update is we'll be coming to these meetings and just giving you updates on what's going on in the county, the town of Unicoi, the town of Irwin. But so far, I work more on well, we both do, but a lot of the industrial side of things, as we know, our county is very, we benefit from industry, which is wonderful, job creation, capital investment, things of that nature. So something that we've been beginning on doing is very successful. We've had industrial roundtables where we hear from our employers. And through that, we have created a very good partnership with the school system this year. So we're heavy into work-based learning, providing opportunities for internships, apprenticeship style for our high school students, industry days, much as our ag days like we've had in the past. So students will actually get to go around and see what job opportunities are available in their own backyard. So something that we have found through communicating with the high school and with our employers and the teachers is that our students aren't returning home because they don't know the opportunities here, but they're endless. I mean, you can be a doctor, you can be a lawyer, you can start your own business, but you can also be an engineer, you can be a welder, you can be a pipe fitter. I mean, the list goes on. And so it's just connecting those pieces of, yes, it's great, we're gonna send you off to get that post-secondary education, but you know that you got a job waiting for you when you return home. Also like Valley Health and the healthcare industry, like they've been instrumental and very supportive. So that's just a brief update of kind of what's been going on the last couple of months as we're plugging people in.
2 minutes.
I get 2 and he gets 2.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I was gonna amend the agenda, but we allowed it to go as a citizen comment, so we're going to 2 and 2.
Okay.
I failed to get them on the agenda, so.
Well, I think it's also our fault, should have approached you a little bit better there. Anyway, so I'll make it quick. And so we're coming here also as citizens of the town of Unicoi as well. And, we heard about the recent occupancy tax vote. And, wanted to carry on that discussion and maybe give our input a little bit as to, the value of that for the community. Occupancy tax being a tax that is put onto those lodging in our community who aren't from here, who are staying here, using our roads, our parks, our amenities, and using the residences that have been dedicated to things like Airbnb. And if this tax were implemented, it would not affect residents of Unicoi, but it would help fund and benefit the things that we all like to use, including our guests to the community. So we would like to pose the question that maybe we could have a workshop or discuss this further, to see if this kind of tax is something we could implement, for the betterment of the community. And I know there is a mindset of no new taxes, but I also understand that we want to limit the burden on our citizens, those who are here, and we want to transfer that obligation that we have to maintain our community to those who also use it. So I think we should consider this and maybe go to a workshop and talk further. And I think that's just probably my time.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, and
Thanks.
y'all both do actually reside in the town.
Yeah.
I live at Buffalo Valley and he lives I'll keep the draft. Yeah.
All right, okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, guys.
No,
yeah.
yeah.
Was there another one?
The other.
Oh, okay, I'm so sorry, Dennis.
Good exercise.
I appreciate you being so, easy to work with on this. Ms. Castro, would you call the next person, please, because I keep messing it up.
Jim or Alicia, you?
And forgive me, you don't have to, but
Yeah.
it makes it better for
If we
Cynthia.
can hear you better on our recording, if you go.
And y'all, please forgive me, I just kept messing that up. I'm so
You're
sorry.
fine. I'm sure we've probably been in talk and discussion of, on Powder Creek Road, we have had a problem with flooding ever since I resided there. I've called with the former, I think I've been here twice, I know for sure once. It's just, it's a nuisance. And I'm not here trying to point fingers or be ugly to anybody about it, but the repercussions of after a flood, it affects us more than it does anybody. And it didn't used to be this way. Like, I've lived here since 2004, but it seems like every summer, and I'm not a scientist, but the rains get heavier and heavier. And just for example, today, I mean, it just happened again. Well, that creek rise, trying to go with 60-inch tiles, what they told me that was there today, but it's oblong. It's not even what it's supposed to be. They pulled out 2 tires. I've cleaned it out before. Trees, and it probably comes down to how much, I'm trying to speed this 2 minutes up, but they will have the funding or what have you to clean before storms. And I know sometimes that has happened, but we've got how many columns knocked over, fencing?
Probably 6 or 8, I mean, it's thousands of dollars in damage, and this happened when it rained for about the entire month of February in 2018 or 2019. We lost 2 columns then and some fencing, and it just comes down, and the water was above my knees at its highest point coming across, and we can't do anything about the topography, I mean, that is what it is. But the weird angle of the culvert combined with the fact that the ditches stay full all the time has really presented a problem. And so, I mean, we can't even mow till we pick up all the beer bottles and liquor bottles and the glass. And, you know, I don't want my dogs and my kids in the yard running through. I mean, we don't know what's in the yard till we go clean
I'm
afterwards.
pretty sure the trash cans are Clark County.
We don't know, but this is an ongoing issue that we would love to help solve, but the tile that's there, and I don't know that we can even do much about the angle, but what's there is not working, and has not been working for quite some time.
It's been dug out today, and thank you for getting everybody out there. Everybody, they dug out today and they said, hey, we did wrong. Well, that's what I do. I'm a mechanical contractor, and we get involved in things like this, but
Can I get your address so I can go? Yeah,
do we get 2 and 2 number?
it's 164.
I'll let you.
Thank you. I'll bring it up.
164 Powell Creek Road, Johnson City, but we are in Unicoi.
Yes,
I mean, we're in the town and the county.
I just didn't know the road. Mailing addresses.
But they've got it dug out now, and if we could just get a rock attachment, they were telling me today, everyone put the exact same tile back in there, and I'm like, well, it's gonna have to give. And they were like, well, you can't let us dig, and I'm like, if they'll let you dig in the creek, they'll let you bust that park out as well. I'll help any way I can. I'm over it. I'm ready. I'm tired of doing this. And my last thing is can we please dig in that road? That road
Or
is speed. I've asked for both, but that road is so unnecessary for everybody says, well, it's a snow route route. The other route coming off Whispering Pines is much safer. Everybody uses it, and it's mostly, I believe, it's part of county courtesy. I've asked for patrol there. There's people coming through there to 90 miles an hour.
They come down that curve and there they go, and they're
Blind spot.
gone.
Dead end road, it's over with, it's done, you don't have to maintain it, it just makes sense. It just makes sense, and, I think someone was talking about 2-lane road, that's ludicrous. It's,
Official way to put it.
yeah, that's all I have to say. I would appreciate any help on this, because this is something we want to put to bed.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. And apparently we've got a good bit of information to follow through on.
Well, they've worked on the drain since this morning.
Yes, ma'am.
It's having to be replaced, asphalt's been broken, that's the road we closed.
Yeah,
Terry Haynes and Bob are leaving in the morning at 4:30, and they're having to go to Windsor, Georgia to get a tile to go in that area. So, you know, I mean, I don't know what else we can do at this point, except that they're going to get the tile and, so,
Okay, okay, well, just, we gotta stay in touch and stay intact, follow through. Follow through. Okay. Okay, all right, thank you. Ms. Kester, I'll let you call it.
I'm, Dennis Law. It's you. It's your turn.
Thank you for being so great.
I just wanted to briefly introduce myself. I'm the new Veteran Service Officer for Unicoi County. This is week 3 for me. I'm currently setting up an office and going through mandatory training. I've got about 10 years' experience working with veterans organizations like VFW and DAV, helping veterans, so it's not like it's new to me. So not quite ready, but should be ready here in the near future. The number one thing I found working with veterans, whether you're a veteran or you can reference it to a veteran. When I was on the SWAT team, we used to have a say, you failed, you planned to fail because you failed to plan. Veterans show up unprepared. They don't have their military record, they don't have their medical records, they don't have any witness statements, they don't have anything but their little PD-214 in their hands. The claim is proportional to the amount of information. So if you advise them anything, tell them be prepared, bring everything they can. If they don't have it, I can tell them exactly how to get it. And so,
Dennis, how do they get in touch with you?
well, currently they have a telephone for me.
Okay.
But I don't know if you have my cell phone number or not.
Okay, well, I'm sure we do. I don't know that I do for sure, but just if people want to get in touch with veteran services.
If they really need to speak to me, call the mayor's office,
Okay, county.
county mayor.
County,
Now, I cannot assist anybody yet because I'm still doing mandatory training. I can advise them.
Okay.
And good advice is worth a great deal.
It is. Well, that's a good thing. Thank you for doing that. Thank you.
You know the various story you did.
I do indeed.
He's got some of his worst cases.
He used to send me some of his worst cases because they were just so time intensive.
Okay, does that person feel something else?
Yes, Chris Archuleta, and he lives on Portland Road. And, well, he's talking about Portland Road. He lives up the top, I believe, on Dixon View Lane, but he's getting bringing in someone. So we'll wait a few minutes till he gets them in.
Okay. Well, while we wait, I'll just give a little quick update. One of the sessions at the Tennessee Municipal League that I attended actually this morning was Jason Mumpower from Comptroller's office, and legislation that had attempted to get passed last year did not follow through, and they're still only working on it this year, is to increase the percentage of shared taxes that municipalities can receive. Right now, I think it's like 4% or something of that nature, and I don't know how high that percentage will go. But with what's predicted, if it can pass in this legislative session, the county of Unicoi is probably looking at about a $95,000 increase in shared taxes based on previous reported shared taxes. So that's a big chunk for us. Bigger, I'm like Greenville's looking at $385,000. So obviously the bigger, the more, but that is something that a couple of legislators are working really hard to get passed, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing, and that helps take some of that tax burden off of citizens. You know, even county, you don't have to raise property tax, or Irwin has property tax. Other municipalities, it might prevent them from having to raise a property tax. So across the state, I think it's a good thing. Anyway, it would help us as well. So that's a good thing. Hopefully it's coming down the pike. Of course, the next legislative session. No, that was good thing.
Is that where they had that money in surplus, where that they had divided the counties, you know, the different ones that we were paying more on last year? I went to, probably a couple of years ago, they had the economics was talking about that, that they had so much surplus money, you know, because they had actually taken out more than what they, than what they, it's kind of.
It's a fix, it's a fix it,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, where they got so much surplus that they really need to release it back to us.
Because it's ours.
Yeah, they took it out.
Well, growth and economic development happens in the municipalities. They need the money. And it's generated in the municipalities primarily, so they need that.
Yeah.
Are we done?
There's a double door up here.
Sorry.
Okay.
All right, y'all are ready to speak. It's your turn. 2 minutes.
I just talking to you, man.
You're talking to the entire board.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just here to, my name's Chris Archuleta, live on Portland Road. Down the road down here, my neighbor Johnny Portland. I got an issue with my road, trying to get looked at. I called a couple years ago when I moved here. We can't get out of our road when it's raining. There's ponds on one side. Apparently, they built ponds with a levee that goes up to the road. The other side, the same neighbor put a concrete truck and filled it in with concrete, entire truck. That last year, I rented a jackhammer so I could pound the concrete out of the ditch to give it back to him, which I did. I think they called the police on me and whatnot over that one, but it's just concrete. Nonetheless, the water now it's ridiculous. My friend can't get out of his, go down to the main road because of the situation. It's a hazard for the EMS trucks that have to come up to our house. His dad's 83. I'm 100% combat retired, wounded vet. My other neighbors are in their 70s. They got knee surgeries. Nobody else has, I guess, wants to say anything about why it's gone this long, why you're able to destroy a road, really. I guess I just want someone to come out and look at it, and figure out what can be done about Portland Road and those ponds and the levees that never should have been there. I don't know how they were ever approved to be there and how you can put concrete, fill up ditches. And on the side with the ponds, there used to be a ditch there, which my friends can contest to before I moved there. However, they were filled in. There's no ditch on that side. It's irritating me that I'm having to, nobody, apparently I heard that a man named Terry, what's his name? Terry. I was told he was no longer going to service our road. I'm wondering, I'm trying to work a farm and I got 3 boys. My wife's an active duty Marine, works out of town, so I'm by myself. I'm trying to take care of my 20 acres and I'm maintaining that road. The only reason that road is drivable because of me. I dig the ditch out with a shovel. I weed eat the thing, the whole road. I mean, all the time. I've got so many issues on that road. I'm really getting flustered. I'm like, why am I paying property taxes? I got a nice house, work my butt off. I'm at the point where it's like, hey, that's something that I wish I would have got a reach around someone saying, hey, we're no longer going to service your road because the road, which I agree, those ponds are a problem. But no one ever talked to me about it. And I'm just wondering, hey, who do I got to talk to? I got to go to my state representative, or do I got to call Wounded Warrior Battalion? I'm part of that. They can call the governor or something. I'm
I apologize, I hear. And I apologize to tell you that we're doing 2 minutes.
Yes,
for
ma'am.
speakers.
Okay.
But if John Clark would like to speak as well, he can have you.
Okay, yeah, I'm just happy. So, all right.
I agree with everything he said.
Okay.
We just want to be able to use the
And
road.
I am aware of the struggle associated with Portland Road. I am aware.
Because I was gonna take those levees, I'm gonna dig them out at night, I'm gonna take the ponds out myself. Because I don't know how they were there in the first place. But that's all I got, man. Thank you.
Okay, I appreciate you coming down, you as well. And I hear the frustration. I
But it
see
really
the
does,
frustration.
it
I've
gets
walked
that
up and
deep
down
down
that
the
road. I have walked up and down the road. Yeah.
But when it's raining, I'm telling you, it's a river.
Yeah, we looked in the ditches and everything, yeah, so,
I guess I had ever approved again. I don't even know how you could build a levee up to the asphalt. And then when I ask them, how can you fill the ditch in, they tell me, I said, they said, well, I owned that asphalt, so I was like, well, the pipes, I just busted out over here, because he just put more pipes in, and I told him he could move them last week, and I said, I'm gonna bust them out.
Right, so there's a lot to problem solve associated with all of that, and, I
So-
know it's a struggle.
Did I get ahold of someone that can get me to touch, or do I need to call and get this problem?
Well, we'll work again at it. We'll work again at it. Our city attorney here is listening in as well, and we've had TDEC there before. We've had our highway superintendent, Terry Hayes, here before. We've had all these people give us that information, but it seems to stall. So let's make a commitment that we'll dig deeper, see where the liabilities are, what we can do.
Oh, I know what the liabilities
And
are.
see, well, with the town, because that will be our responsibility.
Okay.
Okay, what our liability is, what we can do. And we go from there.
I appreciate it.
Okay, but, she has listened and heard, and
Thank you for listening, Jim.
we'll work on it. Okay? And
Sorry, I didn't get all wrapped up.
that's right. Thank you. All right. Okay, any other citizen comments?
No.
Bye. Okay, I can't get anybody else out of order, or not out of order, but I mean, out of order. Okay. Mercy. Okay, were there any others?
No.
No, okay, all right, then, I guess we're able to move on. All right, no old business, we will go, no unfinished business, we will go to new business. There is an ordinance in your packet for first reading and consideration, ordinance 2022-308, an ordinance for the town of Unicoi to increase the competitive bid requirement to $25,000. We're going up from 10. Going up from 10. Any purchase at 10 was requiring bids, but now we're at 25, and there's a lot of reasons why we're needing to bump this up. Cost of materials as well, but we can have plenty of discussion on that. If someone would like to make a motion, we can open up discussion.
So moved.
Okay, motion and a second. Any discussion, anything more than what I just shared? I'm sure there's a whole lot of background on this.
Well, I guess I'll speak on this. I pushed for this, and I don't know if you all have noticed the price of stuff going up, but before we had a minimum limit of $4,000 that we could spend without having to have over that, we had to get bids. And right now, you can't turn around and do anything for $4,000. So the state has, is allowing towns, cities to change it. Our limit, is 4 and 10, over 10, we have to go out and get sealed bids. And what this is saying, we can now spend up to $10,000 without having to get any kind of bids. Between 10,000 and 25,000, we can call, email, and solicit bids. And then, gotta have at least 3, and then over 25, we have to get sealed bids, we have to advertise in the newspaper, et cetera, and this is to bring us up to, I guess, where we are today on the spending, but you can't do anything for $4,000. So, I've been pushing to get this changed, so I'm a guilty person.
It's appropriate. I mean, we were kind of on the low end anyway.
We were on the low end.
We were on the low end compared to other municipalities anyhow. Any other,
I think we need to really, maybe the whereas, we might ought to read that publicly so people can hear what is in this ordinance, so that
you want me to read all the
It's-
whereases?
just the one right here about we have to get the 3 bids, and that way it's on the recorder that we do have to do that. It's not, we can just go out and spend 25 grand. First of all, it has to be in the budget, and then we have to get 3 bids, competitive bids.
And then it goes to the one that's most, even though you don't have to get the lowest one if it's not really showing it it's reputable, on that.
Right, the bid process can be very burdensome. So this does alleviate 3 bids by email or phone call, as long as the bid is meeting the specifications of what is being bid, like Alderwoman Radford said, it doesn't have to be the lowest. Whose item meets the specifications that we're requesting? And that can speed that process, but then up to 25,000, it has to go through the sealed bid process. So there will still be bids, it still will be, comparatively looked at. And sometimes you discover there's a sole, it's a proprietor, that's not the right word, I don't think.
Source.
Sole source, yeah, one source, that has what you need. And that kind of skews the whole thing anyway, but, it makes it easier, especially while we're working on this EMS annex building. I think you've been up against that a lot.
It does show that even if you can't get but one, you show effort that you tried, and that's,
Oh, yeah.
keeps it fair.
Okay, any further discussion? All right, Ms. Cuthbert, would you call for a vote, please?
Just open for discussion.
We discussed it with a second and a motion and a second, a motion and a second.
Alderman Lemon,
Yes.
Alderman Radford,
Yes.
Alderman Ray,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cooper,
Yes.
Mayor Bullen.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Next on the agenda is consider contract for professional inspection services with Sullivan Inspection Services, PC, and the town of Unicoi. That is included in our packet as well. We do have a building inspector that we are contracted with, and that is Dwight Harrell. However, Dwight is swamped, covered up. We have always, well, not we've always, in the last few years, we've had a backup inspector, and James Sullivan has been our backup inspector. His contract expired in June, and so we just would like to renew that contract with him. And he is going to play, I think, a significant role in whatever is going to happen with the old budget in up there. And we count on his expertise and services regarding that. So if we'll give some consideration to that, is there a motion in a second?
So moved.
Second. Okay, any further discussion? All right, Ms. Cuthbert, well,
We just voted to get three bids, and here we are. Have we tried to get anybody besides him, or does this fall into that category?
well, he's contracted.
This is a service,
Yeah.
professional service, you don't typically bid professional services.
I guess I'm a little confused about, is that the only choice? I mean, I don't even know these people, so I'm not being critical. I mean,
He's what, we used him for now a couple of years, actually when Dwight, Harold, when the budget end situation arose, Dwight felt like because of his, full-time job, he did not have time to,
is
do
the
the inspection for, the budget end, and it was a little bit more, detailed than what he was prepared to do. So we retained Jim Sullivan. He's also been the backup for, Dwight on normal inspections.
Is the one want to stay with us?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, this is just as a backup for Dwight and
For more
for,
complicated, more technical.
the budget end.
Mhm.
As well.
Particularly budget, yeah.
Because he can handle more than what the right's able to.
He has a broad
Yeah,
range.
he does.
Yes. Okay, any further discussion? Ms. Kessler, would you call for a vote, please?
Alderman Lemon,
Yes.
Alderman Radford,
Yes.
Alderman Ray,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cooper,
Yes.
Mayor Rowland.
Yes. Okay, next is discussion and consideration regarding Massachusetts Avenue. This has been an ongoing topic for the town of Unicoi for as long as I've been an alderman, but even more recently since American Recovery Act money, whatever ARPA money came through to the county and to the town. it's been a long process to figure out how the town can use that money, how the town can spend that money. Some of the projects we can do, some of the projects we cannot do. Part of it is whether or not we own a utility. We do not own a utility. So we are not allowed to service some projects associated with utilities. Therefore, the county has to use their money and we match the county. So that's what we're looking at with what we're trying to do on Massachusetts Avenue. Those of you that have been attending meetings are aware we've had some engineering work done to evaluate Massachusetts Urban Utilities has stepped, since they actually own the sewer, they have contributed time looking at some engineering issues, evaluating what that looks like, what the needs are. There were some corrections that they saw needed to be made. They have made those corrections, but we've left the road open because we still have difficulty trying to figure out how to manage groundwater flowing through and around that sewer line that has been causing the road to sink. The sewer line is not sinking, the road is sinking on top of the sewer line. And apparently there's been allegations that, and I'll use the word allegations, people pretty good verifiably have said it wasn't backfilled with the proper product, and that's why the asphalt continues to sink. So we're at a point now trying to figure that out. I will tell the board that one of the last conversations we had from Cross Engineering, that was the name of the engineering company, geotechnical engineering. The best we're gonna be able to do is try to backfill with a better product, but again, he suggested that the board consider, I don't know exactly what they look like, I'm gonna say round, and then these little dams, little rings on them that kind of function as dams to slow the water flow. We need to slow down the groundwater that's flowing. And where the road is the worst, I've had some conversations with Lee Brown, our utilities that owns the sewer. We've talked about putting a couple of those in where the road is open now to slow that. Before that decision gets made, we believe, Ms. Kessler believed, and board members would want to have a work session to bring it all together, to bring the dollar amounts together, to bring what the cost would be, what the county will put in, what our utilities will put in, and what the town would then be responsible for a match. So we would like to suggest that we organize and get all the parties. And it also would include Personal Development District. They've been helping with us as well, because some of this money is associated with TDAC money and they are very restrictive. So how much of it's TDAC, what can it be, whose money? It's not like the federal government just gets money. There's lots of strings attached and lots of loopholes. So,
Yeah, our project would become a Unicoi County project on the TDEC.
because we don't own
And
the
we will do a
utility,
match.
the way for us to
And I
do
believe our match is 10%.
10%. Okay, with the board, I'm gonna throw out there, if the board, I would like for somebody to make a motion, if the board would like to have a work session and us to organize to bring all those parties to the table before.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, we got a motion?
Second.
And a second. Okay, and there's a number of parties, so, you know, it's county, urban utilities, TDEC, urban utilities, the engineer,
Jason Foster.
yeah, there's gonna be a handful of us that will come around this information together for a session, yeah, okay? And I think we need to do that sooner than later, so as soon as it is possible to get that together. All right, do you want to go for an evening, Ms. Lemon? I would like to know that you could be there as well. Could we do a late afternoon?
I can do it.
You want, okay, I don't want to make it difficult because I know it's working.
Why don't I send out an email and give you some dates and see how that goes.
Okay, all right.
That's good.
Thank you.
Whenever. we do.
Are we good with that? Right. Okay.
Now, I assume this will be open to the public.
Yeah, it'll have to be advertised, yeah.
Well, I have read the cross engineering report, and I have a few minor questions. We have an obligation to the citizens to do the best we can to correct that road. And I think we have to go that direction and not go the easiest or cheapest route. It's been like this for years, and we kept telling the people, we're gonna fix the road, we're gonna fix the road, we need to do it right. And these people have done a good job, Cross. Basically, what Cross has told us is that we used dirty rock to put in on top of the sewer line, and it wasn't compacted.
When it was put in originally.
That's what they say in their report,
And we have people standing by watching them do it that will say the same thing.
yes.
It's verified.
So now it's up to our board and the people, rest people involved to take a real good look at this and do it right. So I think it is great to have a workshop, get everybody involved, and hear all the citizens' input, because they're the ones traveling every day.
In addition, I know that Ms. Kessler was gonna be in contact again with, the highway department. And the numbers that we will have when we get to this work session will include resurfacing where the road's been torn between Jess Hobson and Mallard Crossing, but it will extend from Jess Hobson down to the overpass, the paving. That's gonna be factored in for the paving.
Railroad track. We gonna do that?
Well, probably come back to that. This has been a huge issue for years upon years upon years, and it's had Band-Aid after Band-Aid after Band-Aid. And it's, trying to put a little bit more, something significant than Band-Aid on it. Trying to prevent it.
Regardless of what this session is planned for, we also need to address that whole road, whether we can fix it all at once or not. We need to talk about it,
Okay,
other than,
okay.
because that is one street,
That is the focus.
you know, and it's a street that the children is at, how many weeks a year they go to school, and
It's a continual issue. Okay, so you will email us and share.
Right, do you want to do a roll call? We have a
Oh,
motion
yes,
and
yes,
second.
please, yes.
Alderman Lamb,
Yes.
Alderman Radford,
Yes.
Alderman Ray,
yes.
Vice Mayor Cooper,
Yes.
Mayor Rowland.
Yes. Okay, that concludes business. Now on to reports of officers' committees. History committee. Y'all haven't been doing anything except sitting and twiddling your thumbs.
Yeah, that's why we have corn.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we did the ice cream social. Good. And, we've got scheduled in September, with, it's this month. They do this.
Take a breath.
Candy beans.
That's garden, that's the garden. What we're doing. But we're having Constitution Day on September 24th, it's on Saturday, from 1 to 3. The Ogle Mountain Victory group will be there, the AR and the CAR. We're all combined, and it's going to be a very special presentation. October 15th is Heritage Day. We're planning on the 14th, maybe doing the school day. They'll contact the schools this week and see which schools will want to participate and which don't. That's all we've got right now.
That's funny. I also am going to put Amanda in touch with, I can't say his first name, Treadway, who manages, I can't even think of the name of this company. Anyway, that manages the Unicoi Wild website. He did a presentation on economic development and said that people are looking for like day activities to do and even a day itinerary. Like if you come on this day, you can do these things. And I thought, all of your history committee activities would probably generate interest in a day. You know, you could have a day activity, come do ice cream social, and then maybe go hike your Rocky Fork, or, you know what I mean, combining those things and make sure those things are on. So Allison and Austin back there, I've given Amanda his card, okay, to try to get a little more County Unicoi things on that website, and I'll probably history committee things, especially if they're looking for a day itinerary.
Absolutely. So anything you can find there, whatever activities, especially the historical ones, these critical things, send our way. We're going to create several of these little itinerary packets for what to do in town. Again, on the website.
I didn't know this, but apparently the young people, when they go travel places, no offense, they look up and online, they'll find, if you're gonna be in this area, this would be a good day's list of activities for you to do. Oh, look, y'all are going, I didn't know they existed, but I thought, we gotta get on that. You know, because they don't last all day, you know, but you want other things to do when you're there. So, yeah, so I've shared, here we go. And
Also, to go back to the meeting we all had, we do have a board of directors now,
Good,
so I'm going to let you know that.
good, okay.
And there's one from, he's being asked if more shows, that we have one from Tiffany Hayes, we have a history teacher who's on the board, we have a homestead dad who's been doing that for us, we can reach out to the homeschools.
See, that's where you're gonna start reaching out. Good deal. Okay. Good
Okay,
job.
before you move on,
Yeah.
tell me about what, these one.
It's still in. Born in.
I think the only solution is to get, I know Roger Gardner did real good without helping, but maybe we may have to look at putting a regular roof on that building. We may need to get him, somebody to start working up some specs and getting some prices, so we're gonna have to.
We're looking into a solution for that. Chris is looking into it, and maybe we can get discounted for donating supplies.
Good, okay.
Well, that's good, I think as long as you got the shake somewhere, you're gonna have these.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna have to replace
This
it.
is for, it's been more, I think it's been kind of galvanized, would be more of a period thing, and,
Mhm.
putting a metal roof or shingles.
So I think that's where some of the people on your board are really helpful.
That's what we got.
Yeah, yeah.
Looking into.
Good deal.
But we need to do
Yeah.
that so we can start looking at the budget whenever we start doing it, or after.
Or, yeah, what'll be needed, yeah, okay.
That's not like the floods, and so we gotta do something about that.
Rain is our worst enemy. Water. Okay, all right, thank you. Planning, board, planning fields?
The planning commission and the board of zoning appeals did not have a meeting in August 2022 due to lack of no agenda items. So we did not meet.
Okay. Let's see, Mountain Harvest Kitchen, there's a report in your packet, monthly revenue reports. We are netting money each month. We've got a couple, one new person, and Home Cooked Wands is gonna do a cooking class. It's on our Facebook page, kitchen,
Facebook and the website, it'll be Saturday.
okay. Like a date night cooking event. Yeah, that would be fun. Okay. Parks and Rec Tourism.
So, over the past month, I've, helped with a new employee that had the police department set up with her phone, my email, other communications that she asked her to put in her job. I also was able to aid in that process of bringing her on and helping with training and, just helping conduct interviews. And like you mentioned, Mountain Harvest Kitchen will be doing a day-night cooking class. And, I've been helping manage the communications and public relations for it.
Cool. I had somebody send me some information that they had seen it online, so I know people are looking. So, all right, thank you very much, Amanda. Police Department. You haven't been doing much anything, have you?
As far as the past month, incidents, we've had 10 accidents, 5 wrecks, 3 traffic stops, 15 citations, 21 code enforcement 7. Throughout the past month, 2 of our major calls was 2 unresponsive people. One was a 3-year-old child that fell in the swimming pool, was operating. Officer Irwin and auxiliary officer Baines was able to make contact with him right there about the dump, between the Blackboard Police Department and the dump that is able to resuscitate the child. The next morning, the family actually walked into the police department carrying the child. It is very amazing knowing that our guys are trained in that. The second one was last week, and I got to say, Mayor Moreland, she was actually there with me. Lady went into respiratory arrest, came into cardiac arrest. While going in the parking lot, was able to get him out, start CPR. By the time she left there, she was actually talking. We have, since I took office, we have been pushing the fact to get AEDs into our community. As of right now, we have got 23 AEDs coming into the community. And that's not just here in Union County, that's the Union County, but EMS has assisted us in being able to get that. As far as, that individual, got a text from walking to me, she is, rehab, potentially get to come home within the next few days. It's something that our department, we are looking strongly in, pushing the lack of CPR, first aid, AED, a lot of things. So, furthermore, that's what we're doing on right now with the rain. Power range, there were several issues out there with the flooding, trees being down. One of my big concerns as the chief of police, when I started, riding around the community here, and I guess I'm going to address the board on this. Once we get Dry Creek County license, the power lines, not the utility side, but the central link side, it's entailed. If you would, coming through the town, we're going to have to approach the Century Link on getting something done. I know in the Morganton area, I don't know if y'all went there or not, but I know there's out the power for around 21 hours, this last go around. I think that's something that we do get the Century Link and we can push them to clean their lines and stuff. It's going to prevent the public safety, public health aspect of it, because God forbid, we do have a power line down. Actually, when my officers got trapped in by falling trees the other day, he couldn't get out, he was stuck. God forbid, be an ambulance, fire truck trying to get to your home somewhere, we need to address the situation. As far as the police department, that's what we've done. But like I said, any of the aldermen need to take a look at the lines already. Maybe one way to take y'all out, kind of show you what we're looking at, and see what we need to go, what we need to do.
I think we need to survey those, mark them down, and the ditches that are the worst. And mark them down. They're the most, causing the most hazard. And we've got to address that.
As far as a lot of the culverts and stuff, throughout the Morganton area, there's one overgrowth and stuff, a lot of the culverts and stuff are jammed up. It's going to be taking the machine, getting in there and actually dislodging. I think a lot of them, every year here in the winter, and I think Mr. and Mrs. Mull, they can attest to this right there, John Burke Hill, it's bed track every year. We get Century Link to come in and trim the lines through there. It's going to make it brighter during the daytime, but it's going to actually prevent as many wrecks, public hazard, public safety. As far as the list, I will compile a list of areas that we need to take a look at.
I'd like to comment on what he said. I think a lot of this problem, just like the other night, the road was shut down for hours down there at Buffalo Valley. And if you get to looking, all the way down on the right side, our guys and all our volunteers, when they've had to go cut trees down, it amounts to these lines not being trimmed in years. And if they fall in somebody's car, somebody might die.
Let's put a letter together. Okay, let's both sign it. Wait a minute. To CenturyLink. Let's put a letter together to CenturyLink. Let's start there. Okay,
As far as that, it's, pretty much on what the police department's done. They have, a couple other things going, but most part, our administrative assistant has been hired, did a great job. She's actually in, Nashville this week doing her, Tigers training, so it's been great.
okay. Okay, as it rains and rains. All right, thank you, Chief Hughes. All right, municipal court report.
Okay, this is, what we collected for July. Total payments of $327.50. We paid $26.95 in litigation tax, $9.50 in safety fines, $1.90 for municipal training and education fees, and a $50 CSI fee. So our net revenue is $239.15. Our tickets, we had 17 that was written for the month of July. We've got an open container violation, violation of Crooks Insurance, 2 expired registrations, 1 driving without license in possession, 1 following too close, 8 speeding tickets, 2 seatbelt violations. And that was the total amount of tickets for the month of July.
Thank you. Reporters report.
Okay, we are currently waiting on a couple of alternatives trying to address the situation of the Fagan Bridge, Fagan Road. We should have the second cost information this week, hopefully. This is something that I think that we should probably also include, not in the same workshop, but maybe one before, one after. And this is through Tyson Hampton. We've talked about Massachusetts, and I will do send out an email about the different dates that we could get together, and then I'll have to do a newspaper notice, so that, we can all get together as a group. The guardrails on Sugar Hollow Road have been installed. I was told that they've also been hit. And they were like $6,375 to fix those, and we used the used, and I looked at them, they looked okay. I'm still waiting on about 4 more estimates from Highway Markings, and they're on different places on, so, the guy was here today with Paddle Creek, the issue. They've been working out there all day. Like I said, tomorrow they're going to leave at 4:30 to go to Windsor, Georgia, to pick up that tile. Otherwise, we would not get the tile for about 2 months. There might be 2 tiles on that. It might need to be just the one. And he did say that it was this big, and it's because it's been squashed.
Yeah, it's lost its shape.
It was a 48-inch tile, and it is squashed like this. The maintenance guys have been trying to clear away brush and trees and cut up trees, and it's just been overwhelming for them. They've been working on that. We got an issue on Springbrook. I think I've talked to a couple of the board members about that. It's where Rose Hill Road, which is a private road, comes into Springbrook, and a truck drove over the grate pushed all the way through. And the way those drains were done, and apparently they were done many, many years ago, they're not correct. We're gonna have to fix that. So, the Moores had put a pallet over it and, another apparatus on top of that, and we put cones out around it, green cones, and someone stole the cones. They were $40 a piece, we had 3 around it, so they're gone. But anyway, it's something that we've got to get fixed as soon as Terry can get it on his list. He has a work order for it, so, you know. The caboose project, this week, the gates should be installed. There's 2 gates, and, we also need to pour a concrete pad for the signal light to set on. And then, we'll do, a plaque in memory of, home. And we'll schedule a ribbon cutting, I guess, for October. And on the EMS annex, do you want to bring everybody up to date on what's happening there?
Yeah. We've got orders out right now to remove all the trees in the gutter and put in leaf guards. They had ordered material, of course, they are industrial guttering, that's on order. We've got orders out, and we'll bury the 400 amp 3-phase power line that runs the building, which is a safety hazard. We're gonna put it underground. And then we're dealing with something called occupancy, where we're going from a maintenance building to living quarters. And we're working with the fire marshal and White Harold. And we've got out, we're getting through proposals on how we can rectify that situation. And one idea is they want us to sprinkle the building, which I don't think we need to. But again, we've got to work with the people and come up with a proposal, either that or they build a separation wall to protect it. So I should have the 3rd one in probably there too. But that's holding us up right now. It's satisfying the fire marshal to do. We've got new lights that we're going to put in the Bay Area. Of course, can't do any digging on kind of weather, but the power line in, so that's holding us up. We've got lights that go inside into the living area, new lamps. We're relamping it. But our biggest holdup right now is to figure out what to do with the occupancy thing, since they will be living there. So we're sort of at that slight delay on that right now. But if we have to sprinkle, it's expensive. But one of the people thinks there's another way around to put the wall up, bury the wall. And I was kidding my wife, I said, are we trying to protect the Bay Area from the living quarters or the living quarters in the Bay Area? I don't know. But,
Just gotta give them a second.
so anyway, that's where we are on it. The building is a really nice facility. Everyone looks at it. We can easily get our money back if we ever had to sell it. We could probably double our money on it. It's a nice building. But we already have water, we've got sewer, we've got natural gas. So we got all the things we need. It's really a good place. That's where we are.
Okay.
Thank you.
I've been in correspondence with Lance Lowry, First Tennessee Development District, and more than likely, we are gonna have to pay back the money that we were reimbursed for the amphitheater, which is $28,570. We did budget for that. So I'm just waiting on a final word from them, because he wasn't sure about exactly how we're supposed to pay the money back, but I'm thinking that that will happen soon. Amanda's been filling in for Rhonda being out on leave, and done a good job, and she's, trained with Rhonda. Nick mentioned about Mindy being hired. She started July 27th, and she is doing the Tigers training, and I guess she'll pretty much handle all administrative work for the police department. This will be good for her to get that training under her belt, and then she can probably take over the court clerk position as well, and that will eliminate some of the disconnect between the two. Amanda handled the Title VI training, which we all had to take, the employees, which is a requirement of the state, and so we did that a couple of weeks ago. Field auditor for Nikki Ellis was in a couple of days last week, and starting her field work to do the audit on Monday. Blackburn Children's Institute, their auditor will be in to review bank statements, journal entries, and financials. She'll probably be there about 4 days next week. And I know we talked about the sales tax holidays. We got through the one with the clothing, supplies, and computers, which was July the 29th. We'll see the ramifications for that in a couple of months. August the 1st through the 31st is the food and food ingredients, and then July 1, 22 to June 30, 23, that's the gun safes and safety equipment that they will pay no tax on. The mayor and I have a meeting tomorrow with First Tennessee Development District to review the infrastructure improvements that we have on the list. That's a standard thing we do every year, and that will be with First Tennessee Development District, and I think there's 4 or 5 coming for that. That's all I have.
All right, thank you. Thank you for all that you do there. All right, ready for financial report?
Okay, on the general fund, what I consider current cash or available cash, we are at $1,672,878, and that includes both banks, savings account, and CD, 115,000. I think that CD comes due in a few months, so we'll be able to maybe negotiate a higher interest rate since it's been moved up twice. Of the 533,000 ARPA money, we have spent so far $268,033. Part of that, most of that being on the building, and a couple of vehicles. And, so then for the general fund revenues, month and year to date being the same, we took in $136,009 in revenue, and we spent $122,632. So we got a net income for the month of $13,458.
Debbie, have we had any negative months the last year?
No,
I don't think so.
I don't think so. If we move on to the kitchen revenue for the month of July was $4,111. And the expenses were at $4,729, so there was a $618 loss for July on the kitchen.
Debbie, I noticed that the biggest expense we had was electricity.
Yeah.
I wondered, are we actually getting enough money from the people to cover everything now?
Well, he's raised the rates, the rent rates, but yeah, our electricity, I don't know that we quite budgeted enough for that electricity. I think it's probably increased due to everything else increasing, so. There was no activity on the drug fund. And, if we go over to the end of your financials and look at the sales tax graphs, for the local option sales tax, we took in $78,411 for the month of July. And for the local state shares, we took in $39,328. So both those taxes are up for right now.
Yes, but both of those taxes are up because the price of everything is up. I mean, they're both up, but, okay. All right, that's all I have. You done? Okay, is there a motion to approve the financial report? Motion? Second. Any further conversation? All right, Ms. Custer, call for a vote, please.
Alderman Raymond,
Yes.
Alderman Radford,
Yes.
Alderman Ray,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cooper,
Yes.
Mayor Boyd.
Yes. Okay, well that, yeah, unless anybody has any announcements, we can entertain a motion to adjourn. All right, second, all in favor? Aye.
Their information.
Okay, I see, yes, he does that, yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely I have been hungry. Well,